Come one, come all, on computer screens, big or small. It's time for a special web edition of Cuse Countdown, previewing Syracuse and Hobart's battle for the Kraus-Simmons Trophy. I'm your host, Marcus White, joined alongside my analysts, Kevin Ryans and Danny Cuneo. And guys, where does the Kraus-Simmons Trophy rank among the all-time great college sports rivalry trophies?
It's got to be up top there. I mean, the two teams have been battling out for the Kraus-Simmons Trophy for over 20-something years now. Syracuse obviously winning most of them, so really big on the Hobart's end. Maybe not so much Syracuse end because they always win it.
I'm a big Paul Bunyan's axe guy. I like that the winner of a football game gets an axe to take home with them, chop down some wood, think about next season. I would put it right below that.
Better than the Stanford axe?
Yes.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Controversial axe takes here on Cuse Countdown, but before we get into the Hobart team, we're going to take a look at Syracuse's last game against North Carolina. They lost on the scoreboard and lost a major part of their offense. Henry Schoonmaker leaving the game with a shoulder injury. Guys, what kind of a loss is this for the Orange going forward in the game against Hobart? He's doubtful with a shoulder injury.
I think it's a big loss for them. They already have Stotts, who's very much injured, and still losing Schoonmaker, another person who's vital to their offense. This can't be good for Syracuse, especially going into the postseason ACC tournament and the NCAA tournament. We saw this team early before. When they're healthy, they can be really good. But if they're going to be injured, they could be vulnerable, definitely.
I mean, it's never great when you can lose a facilitator. That's what midfielders do. They pass the ball really well. Schoonmaker also great at scoring, 13 goals and 4 assists. It's a big loss for them, especially, like Kevin said, down the road, closer to playoff time. It's not great when you lose a guy like Schooney.
We'll get to who you guys think is going to replace him and maybe in your X Factors a little later. But right now, let's take a look at the Statesman. Who should Syracuse be worried about tomorrow?
I think they got to be worried about senior attackman Brendan Saylor. He is the senior on the team. He's a senior on the team, and he is an attackman. He's got 15 goals in the season, 3 assists, but also Zach Reed should be someone you should worry about. 6 assists, time for the team lead. 6 assists, low for a team like Hobart. 91 goals on 39 assists. Not sure that's going to fly against the Orange.
You got to look out for Alex Love, The guy's been starting since his freshman year. Last year was an All-American honorable mention. The guy has 24 points on the season. That leads the team. He is definitely someone Syracuse has to look out for. He's going to be the one dictating that offense for Hobart.
Now, you mentioned, Danny, a bit of a low passing offense for Hobart. How is that going to play into this week's game? Do you think that's one of the X factors, or do you have something else you're looking for?
I mean, I haven't, if I'm going to be honest, I haven't watched a lot of Hobart play, but anytime a team doesn't have that many assists, I mean, numbers don't tell the whole story, but they tell a story. And the fact that that's just a lot of isolation, and that's not going to fly, like I said, against a team, against Syracuse, who you watch them play on offense, and they're brilliant at passing the ball, and, it's simple science. The ball is faster than people, and I think that you're going to have a more efficient offense if your passing game is better. And so I'm not sure Hobart can keep up.
And Syracuse is going to want to, jump at that stagnant offense. They're going to try to, probably guess where they're going to pass to, probably jump into those passing lanes and take them off for fast breaks over there on their end of the offense. And, of course, they're obviously great at passing that ball, getting those goals in. So definitely something to look out for.
Could be just what the doctor ordered after allowing over 10 goals in each of the last 3 games. But, guys, let's get into a little bit of a prediction mode. What are your X factors for tomorrow's game?
My X factor is, can Syracuse stay cool under pressure? They've had a couple of games, especially on the road. Last time it was against North Carolina. They couldn't get those last 2 goals in the final couple of minutes. And, of course, Notre Dame had a chance in overtime to win it. Couldn't really do it. Hobart is very good in close games this season. They've 4-0 in close games this season. And the last few games have gone to overtime, 7-6 scores all around. You got to think that this team is very good at staying under pressure. Syracuse has to make sure that they can be the dominant team in this game as well.
It's a good point. I've got Nikki Galasso as my X factor. He's a guy who had a hat trick against his former team in North Carolina. And with Schoonmaker down, someone's got to step up. I think it's going to be Galasso. 22 goals, 5 assists. He's great scoring. He could improve those assist numbers, especially with a midfielder down. But I really think, Syracuse will be fine if Galasso plays like the high school recruit that he was known for being.
We've talked about the offensive discrepancies between Hobart and Syracuse. Is that going to be too much for Hobart tomorrow against the Orange?
I think so. I think Syracuse is going to win 15-8. Now, they don't. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. They don't want to lose 2 in a row. They haven't done it all season. And with lost North Carolina, they're obviously locked into that 3 seed in the ACC tournament, which means they have to face North Carolina or Notre Dame again in that tournament. So they obviously want to get that victory right before the playoffs start, get a little confidence, they're gonna maybe get their offense going a little more, their defense going a little more right before those games.
I agree. I think Syracuse is a different team in the Carrier Dome. I think they win 18-9. This is more of a showcase of Syracuse's offense and Hobart's lack of offense. They've scored less than 10 goals in 4 of their last 5 contests. I think Syracuse has too much firepower, and I don't think that Hobart's isolation offense is going to get it done.
Well, both of our analysts say Syracuse is going to win, but you're going to have to tune in tomorrow to find out the result in that one. For my analysts, Danny Cuneo and Kevin Ryans, I'm Marcus White. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Citrus TV Sports for updates from the Orange's quest to hold on to the Kraus-Simmons Trophy. Have a good night.